We are honored to welcome ambassadors and representatives of diplomatic corps, business leaders, chamber of commerce, development partners, members of the media, and our guests for joining us this afternoon at Dhanapala Hall, Ministry of Finance, Indonesia.
As the program will begin shortly, we kindly invite all guests to take their seats.
And for the comfort of all participants, please ensure that mobile devices are set to silent mode throughout the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Welcome to the International Seminar on Debottlenecking channel, hosted by the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia.
We are very honored to welcome ambassadors and representatives of diplomatic corps, business leaders, chambers of commerce, development partners, members of the media, and also our guests for joining us this afternoon at Dhanapala Hall, Ministry of Finance of Indonesia.
As the program will begin shortly, we kindly invite all guests to take their seats.
And for the comfort of all participants, please ensure that mobile devices are set to silent mode throughout the session. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Thank you. Please be seated.
Excellencies, speakers, moderator, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, selamat siang, good afternoon to all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed Ratoh Jaro, a beautiful traditional dance from Aceh.
Ratoh Jaro, meaning dance of a thousand islands, thousand hands, I mean. It reflects the dance's signature synchronized movement, and it is also known for expressing the resilience and solidarity of the Acehnese people while showcasing the rich cultural heritage of Aceh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored to welcome you to the
International Seminar on Debottlenecking Channel, Resolving Bottleneck, Accelerating Investment. Please allow me to acknowledge the presence of excellencies, ambassadors, and members of the diplomatic corps, our distinguished speakers, moderator, and also panelists, and also representative of international and domestic business associations, chambers of commerce, development partners, and also members of the media.
And we would also like to extend our greetings to these distinguished Indonesian ambassadors and guests joining us virtually via Zoom. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Diah Rukmi Amarwati, and my colleague here.
Rianka Diza.
We are from the Ministry of Finance, and it is our pleasure to be your MC this afternoon.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and also Amber. Today's seminar brings together stakeholders from across sectors to discuss practical ways to address investment-related bottlenecks and strengthen coordination to support economic growth.
And through the Debottlenecking Channel initiative, the government aims to provide a more effective way to resolve obstacles faced by businesses and also investors, and to reinforce Indonesia's commitment to a transparent and more conducive investment climate.
Precisely, Amber. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event consists of opening remarks and keynote addresses from senior officials of the governments of the Republic of Indonesia.
And the program will then continue with a panel discussion on the Debottlenecking Channel initiative to discuss efforts in strengthening coordination and also addressing investment-related obstacles in Indonesia.
And later, we will also present a brief case demonstration of the Debottlenecking Channel platform.
And excellencies, our speakers, moderator, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to officially commence this event, it is my honor to invite the Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Bapak Airlangga Hartarto, to deliver the opening remarks and keynote address through a recorded video message.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly invite you to direct your attention to the screen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Honorable Bapak Purbaya Yudhi Sadewa, Minister of Finance, Bapak Arif Hafaz Ogroseno, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, esteemed members of the Task Force for Acceleration of Government Program to Support Economic Growth, distinguished ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all of you, and I would like to extend my sincere appreciation for the successful convening the international seminar on the Debottlenecking Channel. Distinguished guests, the global economy in 2026 continue to face significant headwind. Nevertheless, Indonesia remains resilient, well positioned to sustain stronger economic growth. Supported by solid domestic fundamentals, Indonesia probability of recession remain very low, below 5%, lower than in US, Japan, Canada, and this highlight Indonesia economic resilience and capacity for growth despite rising global uncertainty. Indonesia economic fundamentals remain strong. First quarter grew by 5.61%, inflation reduced to 2.42%, and consumer confidence remained robust. For 71 straight months, the trade balance has remained in surplus and backed by solid reserve and financial stability. To address this, President Prabowo Subianto has issued presidential decree on the Task Force for Acceleration government program to support economic growth. One of the program focus on delivery and debottlenecking. The mandate of debottlenecking working group goes beyond administrative coordination. It focuses for delivering concrete solution through debottlenecking channel that directly connect business concern with policy action. This channel serves three key functions. First, to capture and manage constraint in real time, recognizing that every delay in investment carries an economic cost. Second, it provides a dedicated and credible avenue for investors to raise concern directly, ensuring no issue is left unresolved. Third, it translates this input into actionable policy recommendation for the President or relevant authority to strengthen the investment climate. Ultimately, the objective is clear. An effective debottlenecking system sends a strong signal that Indonesia is not only offers market potential but also certainty in execution. Distinguished guests, by resolving debottlenecking, simplifying process and strengthening coordination through the debottlenecking working group and debottlenecking channel, we not only improve the business climate but also build trust, sending a clear signal that Indonesia is safe, predictable, and low-friction destination for investment. This is a critical moment. Amid global uncertainty, Indonesia can emerge as a bright spot of growth, but this will only be realized if we move quickly, act in unity, and ensure consistent execution. Let us in turn these bottlenecks into wide open channels for shared prosperity. I wish you all productive and insightful discussion in this seminar. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move to our next agenda. And it is now my distinct honor to invite the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Bapak Purbaya Yudhi Sadewa, to deliver the keynote remarks.
Your Excellency, you may have the floor.
Baru tahu ada wartawan di belakang. Jadi saya ngomongnya harus hati-hati. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Arif Hafaz Ugroseno, my senior in the coordinating ministry for Maritime Affairs, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, and representatives of friendly countries and the European Union, distinguished representatives of international organizations, chambers of commerce and business associations, distinguished officials from line ministers and government agencies, panelists, moderator, and colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that to achieve a stronger and higher economic growth, Indonesia needs to increase investment and private sector participation. The contribution of government spending to our economy is only around 10%, the 90% of it is contributed by private sector. So without significant private sector participation, it is almost impossible to create economic growth of above 6%. While we know that our target is 8% by 2029. So we, the government of Indonesia, understand that we need to improve involvement of private sectors in our economy. So having a better business climate, credible investment policy, strong legal framework, and enforcement consistency are the key to improve the private sector involvement in our economy. However, we understand also the implementation of those areas still needs to be strengthened in a more practical and transparent mechanism. This is necessary for maintaining investor confidence in doing business and invest in Indonesia. The debottlenecking channel is a practical approach to achieve those conditions. So many people have suggested to me that I better improve the regulation framework in my country. But I told them if I start from the paperwork, improving the business, the regulation, I might miss the real condition that private sectors are facing. So my approach is the other way around. I listen from the private sector, what their problems are, and we solve the problem. And eventually, we will improve the regulation also accordingly. So in my opinion, that is a better approach and the approach that will give a faster and better result because we tackle problems, the real problems faced by business community in our country. The President himself has put this issue to increase investment and to improve business climate as top priorities. This is reflected in the Presidential Decree number 4, 2026, which provided strong legal basis of the so-called the Debottlenecking Task Force, which is chaired by the Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs. So yeah, I am one of the vice chairman of that Debottlenecking Task Force. To achieve its mandate in resolving any obstacles found in the field of investment and business processes, we, on weekly basis, conduct a proceeding from reports that submitted to us from every businessman that are facing obstacles in conducting their business in our country. And we solve, I think, every week we solve from 1 to 2 to 4 cases, and it has been smooth so far. We managed to swiftly remove the bottleneck. I believe 1 year from now, the environment climate in Indonesia will be much, much better than it is now. Yeah. With this, I ensure the effective and efficient mechanism to facilitate investors' concern on licensing and a smooth processes of investors' concern with regard to their investment and business in Indonesia. As for today, there are 142 complaints that have been submitted to this channel. 83 of them have been deliberated in an open and transparent way to the public, and 45 have been resolved. This deliberation is conducted on a weekly basis. So the deliberation apparently is very attractive. So many media are covering it live and broadcasting it live when we are conducting this deliberation. This is improved the transparency of the process and ensure that nobody will shirk from the decision whenever the decision has been made. We're going to conduct this on a weekly basis and continue moving forward. So, ambassadors, businessmen who attend this meeting, should you face any problem in conducting your business in the country, please let us know. We will make sure that we will remove the obstacle as soon as possible, maybe in one proceeding or more, but we will remove it for sure. Indonesia understands that we need to have a much better investment climate to ensure that private sector can contribute significantly to our economic growth. With this, I encourage all investors from all over the world to confidently invest in a promising country of Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your opening remarks.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the next keynote remarks. It is our pleasure to invite the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Bapak Arif Hafaz Ugresono, to deliver the keynote remarks.
Your Excellency, you may have the floor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, Pak Menteri, Dr. Purbaya, Minister of Finance, colleague, excellencies, ambassadors, businesses, and different colleagues from different ministry. Let me first of all extend our thanks, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for this event, because we also have a Zoom online with many Indonesian missions abroad. Investors, I believe, before they enter into country, they do market size analysis, they do labor cost analysis, they do legal certainty, they're checking on the infrastructure, and in many countries like Indonesia sometimes they are checking on which stamps, who is going to authorize the stamp, do we need another stamp in the future? So for us, this is what we call the value-added administration. And for us, diplomats, ambassadors, I think we are quite used to these things. In diplomacy, I believe we have negotiations for months, 6 months, even years, and then we come up with a conclusion that both parties agree to continue discussions in the future. So, it's normal for us, for diplomats to do that. Now, this is a situation that we have to face today, especially Pak Menteri has mentioned about the current economic situations today. We are looking at weaponizations of economic relations. Technology is being weaponized. Finance is being weaponized, energy is being weaponized, data is being weaponized, supply chains is being weaponized, even sustainability and standards are being weaponized. So with this uncertainty across the globe, with this new additional burden for investors, I believe today we are not only competing on tax, we are not competing on issue in relevance to facilities, land possibilities, or labor cost. We are competing on trust, predictability, efficiency, resilience, and also strategic positioning. Speed has become a very important aspect. Legal certainty, of course, has become a very important aspect. Regulatory coherence infrastructure readiness. And I think in this context, debottlenecking is something that is very critical for Indonesia. As Menteri has mentioned before, the process is transparent, open, with conclusive result. I think this is what it's all about. I don't think this is about deregulation. This is more about directions. This is more about where is the directions of your investments in Indonesia in the future, short term, medium term, also in the long term. Now, for us in the Foreign Office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, economic relations, trade, investment is also part of our portfolio. We are part of the negotiations that has provided SEPA between Indonesia and EU, or with Indonesia, with Switzerland and other country, and EFTA, with a couple of countries in Latin America, with Chile, with Peru, with ASEAN, of course. We have a lot of an FTA, and we've done analysis actually. The trade and investment before and after FTA signed. Many show trends of increasing, but the number is not as much as we would like to see. So I think in this context, the exercise of debottlenecking is very important for us, for Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Also very important for our embassies and missions abroad, because they are the one normally the first contact of engagement with foreign investor. So I think in this regard, discussion of today, bringing colleagues with Zoom online from different embassies and Indonesian missions abroad, and also with Your Excellencies today, we can actually later on trace the movement of particular investment. So if, for instance, an investment coming from one country in the Middle East or Europe or Latin America going into Indonesia, you can liaise with us, with Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Finance. If you find challenges and problems, then we can bring this particular issue in the platform. So once again, I would like to close my short remarks by extending our thanks to the Ministry of Finance and the task force. It makes really our job in the Foreign Office in Kemlu is much easier. We can now find people who we can talk to, and we can also liaise the platform with our embassies abroad, so that we will further strengthen the flow of investment from abroad to Indonesia. So once again, congratulations and thank you very much, Pak Menteri. And we look forward to working with you and your team, and also with Excellencies colleagues here around the table. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Bapak Hafaz, for your remarks.
Our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the official photo session. And for that, we would like to invite all of our participants here to rise from your seat and take the photo with us. Please rise in your seat. The photo will be taken from the stage area. And for the photographers, please take your position on the stage.
And we will do the photo session for at least 3 poses. For the first shot, please give us your best formal smile. On my cue, 3, 2, 1.
Maybe once more for the formal pose, Rianka.
On my cues, 3, 2, 1. And for the second one, perhaps we can make it a little warmer. Please raise your thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up, please. Okay, on my cues, 3, 2, 1. The last one, number?
Okay, maybe for the last one, we can, okay, hold the thumbs up. We have the thumbs up. Okay, 3, 2, 1. We got it? Photographers? Okay, one more. Maybe for the third one, we have wave for the camera.
Wave to the camera, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please give a big round of applause for us today. Thank you very much. Photographers, you may back to your positions. Okay, Excellencies, our speakers, moderator, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the main agenda.
As you mentioned, Amber, we will proceed to the panel discussion session. The discussion will focus on the implementation of the debottlenecking channel and on broader efforts to strengthen investment, governance, and interagency coordination. In this session, we are honored to have our distinguished set of panelists.
And for the moderator for this afternoon's discussion is Special Advisor to the Minister of Finance for Industry and Environmental Economy. Please join me in welcoming Bapak Michael Gautama to the stage.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Minister, Vice Ministers, and Excellence, your Honorables. I'd like to call our Honorable Ministers, Purbaya, to come to stage, and Vice Minister Hafaz. Thank you, two Honorables. Please sit down, Pak. No, sit down. Again, thank you to all of you. It's been a good day today. Today's theme is, I give a theme first before we can discuss with our two honorable ministers here. The theme is debottlenecking of debottlenecking. The elephants in the room, people asking me why there is a task force. There has been hundreds of task forces. So what is the difference today? The difference is today is, number one is the leadership. Our president has very strong leadership, supported by leadership of Purbaya and the team, Pak Bakti and from Menko Ekonomi, now Foreign Ministry enjoying us. The second is we have the tools now, tools of budgeting, finance, and the asset of the analysis skill of the team. So like Pak Minister said, we are working from the other side, from a private sector side, not from a top-down policy side. The third is the spirit of the team. As the Minister said, we have been working the last 6 months. We have solved about 25 to 30 billion dollars investment. So it's quite effective. President acknowledged that we have a good track record. So conventional fiscal monetary policy investment is really good, but Minister always say we need to work in the systems to make things work. Besides that, we're working on our ICO, in incremental capital output ratio, very strongly to push our economic growth. Having said that, I lay out the platform. To warm up, Menteri, I'll ask you one question, his question, and we'll open to the floor.
Oh,
So-
let's go to the floor
Yes,
directly.
go to the floor. Is any questions or
Yes.
comment you want to
He's
ask
going
to
to
the
ask too
ministers?
many questions. Like,
Any? Yes, Ambassador, please. Yes, please. Can you state your name and the questions? The mic. You can show.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my
Yeah.
name is Olivier Zender. I'm the Swiss ambassador to Indonesia. I would like to congratulate you for this event. I think it comes at a very good time.
Please.
Switzerland, as an EFTA member, has a CEPA with Indonesia. We're working hard on its implementation, and there are improvements to be done to increase the rate of its implementation. The other element about Switzerland, we always present Switzerland as a trading nation, but it's more of an investing nation. That means normally Swiss companies, they start trading, and then when the conditions are appropriate, they will invest. And I think we can also work more in this sector. We have about 150 companies here. My question is just very simple. I am representative of a private sector. Where is the point of entry? To whom do I come if I have issues? Okay, we have companies coming saying, okay, we're interested to invest quite substantial amounts. Where do we go to? Do we go to the line ministries? Do we go to the finance ministers? Do we go to the economic ministry? That's just a simple question.
Thank you. Thank you, Honor.
Thank you very much from Switzerland. It's a very good question. We've designed this task force to be as transparent as possible, and we want to receive as much inputs or complaints as much as possible also. So for that, we have created a special website that you can deposit your complaint to us. We will announce the special website later on, yeah. So everybody, every businessman from Switzerland or from everywhere can submit, can deposit their complaint to that website. Of course, the complaint has to be a bit complete to the extent that we have to be able to contact back who is reporting and to discuss further what kind of problem that they are facing. So in the deliberation, we can already prepare better. So the deliberation will be effective, ya. Udah diumumin ke publik ya? Apa namanya? Tidak boleh apa? We will announce, we will provide to you the special website that we have created. And you since you mentioned about SEPA, if the implementation is slow, let me know also. I will push everybody to work hard. I'm more powerful than my previous position because now I have a budget power. Any minister who slow down every process that we are facing, I can reduce their budget.
Thank you, ministers. Maybe Vice Minister like to add more on that.
Yeah, I just want to advise companies. This is my experience as ambassador in Brussels and Berlin. In both assignments, we, the team, economic team in the embassy, we help investors going to Indonesia from the get-go, from the beginning. So we monitor what the problems are, who should we call, who should we discuss to domestically in Jakarta or in the regions where the investments are going to take place. And along that chains of communications, if something breaks down or if something not working, then we can, the embassy can monitor it. So now I think now we have this system, which is very good, and of course we still have the embassy abroad. So I would strongly recommend that any investments coming from abroad, you could liaise with us in the embassy coming to Indonesia. See, the problem sometimes some of the investors believe that they can do it by themselves. They have consultants, they pay a lot of money for consulting, then something happened, then they come to us. There are companies like that, and we told them that we're wasting your money in consulting. You can just consult with us. So I think now you have a streamlined process. So Ambassador, hopefully, if the question arises from Switzerland, you can either go directly to the website, or you can work with us with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or the companies can already start discussion from our embassy in Berlin.
Thank you, Pak. Minister, have something
I
to
might
add.
add something. This special task force is quite powerful because the members are not only me. It includes almost every ministries in this current cabinet. So, for instance, when a Japanese company impacts face some problem and we deem it is significant and necessary, we have created a subspecial task force in our task force to act as a one-stop service for them. They can come to that sub-task force and they will handle everything from permit and everything. If your companies are facing confusing in conducting business in the country, in my country, we can also set up a special sub-task force like that. So don't worry investing in country. Just let me know what your problems are.
Thank you, ministers. Thank you. Others, questions? No questions? I will ask, but I'll ask you. No more questions from the
Okay,
floor.
thank you very much.
No, I'll ask you one
Oh,
question.
you will ask me.
Yeah. We aiming 8% growth. Today, we 5.6. Today, I'll point out two numbers to you. Our investment portion of the world FDI is about 2 or 3% only, our market share. Singapore about 8 or 9%. So we have a upside room there to grow. So this part of the activities. The second numbers I'd like to point out before I ask the questions is how efficient our economic system, which is measured in ICOR, incremental capital output ratio. We need $6.4 to increase $1. And if we can improve that to, say, 5, we can get low-hanging fruits of 1 to 2% in GDP growth. One area is a logistic. So now my question to you is, being a minister of fiscal finance, what can you do using the tools that you have to improve the ICOR, therefore improve the growth and industrialization is both simultaneously taking place and impact is almost immediate? Thank you.
Well, the first thing is to improve business climate, improve efficiency. That, of course, will reduce the ICOR automatically. But as a Minister of Finance, I cannot really go into other sectors into detail because other ministers are controlling those sectors. That's why we have created this special task force to make sure that I can intervene legally. With this special task force, I can improve the logistic condition in my country, not through the Minister of Finance, but through the task force. I'm still waiting for reports from a businessman in the country that concerns of logistic problem. Until now, there's no report related to that. But as soon as there's one report related to that, I'll be able to intervene directly. Please, if you are facing a logistic problem, let me know through this task force.
Thank you. Thank you, ministers. Any other questions? No? Oh, you have some comment, Pak Hafaz? Your Honorable, please.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdullah Al-Dahri. I'm the ambassador of Uni Arab Emirates. I've been here in Indonesia for the last maybe around 6.5 years. I will just wanted to highlight the business environment, like when Indonesia calls for FDI seeping into the Republic of Indonesia, allowing international investors to come over and invest. They are often faced with tremendous amount of regulation or regulatory hurdles, I would say, makes it a little bit difficult for them to understand the overall business environment. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here, but we are trying to work together to make sure that FDIs, when they come and see in Indonesia, they are also creating value and creating a win-win situation for Indonesia and for those investors. I will give one example. The same example have went through in the USA, the same investor, and the same time, that particular investor came to Indonesia with the same value of $5 billion US, did not go through. What I see here, it is a good and the music to my ear for sure. Resolving bottlenecks, this is great. And I think this is one way that Indonesia is working toward the right direction to help investors to be able to create value for both countries. Means here I'm talking about UAE and then Indonesia for sure. My understanding would always be Indonesian environment or business environment should at least make sure that it is very attractive. Business environment makes it a little bit seamless when it comes to businesses and businessmen talk to different ministries. But at the same time, to make sure that value is very well created, then I think one particular entity should look at the overall benefits. Means not only look at, if it is an industry, then we should look at the cost of fueling to make this particular factory operational. But at the same time, we have to look at the overall benefits that would be created, job opportunities and others. So I think this is what I'm trying to mention here. Means it is not only the regulation, it is the overall benefits that would create in order to have this particular project successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Well, thank you very much for the comments and question. I've been to your country maybe 4 times. I met your Minister of Energy, Suhail, in 2019, together with ADIA chairman, also with ADIA, one of Hamed from ADIA. With him, we created our first sovereign wealth fund, the Indonesian Investment Authority. Initially, it was designed to be run by both of us, where managements from overseas can also work in that company. But apparently, when I left the Ministry of Maritime Affairs, they changed a bit. But still, we have got a good relation with UAE, where I think IDEA invests more than $2 billion in the country right now through Indonesian Investment Authority. Well, I thank you for that. Yeah. Please continue to support our investment in the future and continue to support our growth. I agree with you. We need to get a system approach. But right now, we have a lot of endeavors to create such a climate. We have created a one-stop services, right? On paper, that is the approach that you mentioned. But it doesn't work. On a regulatory basis, it's a perfect entity. Everybody can come and report every investment plan to that entity, but the implementation is still slow. That's why we created this Debottlenecking task force. You can even report to us the one-stop service. If it doesn't work, I can intervene through this task force. But yes, Indonesia needs to create a systemic approach, so that we can really improve the investment climate in a much faster way. But I'm not that new to that kind of approach. In 2001 or 2002, if not wrong, Hyundai owners came to us, 2000 probably. Before that, he told me that he want to bring some of their manufacturing facility to Indonesia. In my office, I created a special task force. In 4 months, they reported to me, in 4 months, they groundbreak their project in the current Hyundai facility in Cikarang. Yeah. In 4 months, yeah. So Indonesia can expedite any investment program or project that all of you have, all of your investors have in the country, in my country, as long as you go to the right channel. Now we are creating this special channel for all of you. So please use this channel. If you think that, let's say you want to invest, your companies want to invest in my country and things, you're still confused about any regulations or are facing obstacles in conducting or implementing your investment plan, let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ministers. First, to add, I'd like to call those in the Zoom. Currently, we have 126 our representative embassy and consul general offices in the Zoom. Anybody want to ask questions in the Zoom?
There's no question.
No question in the Zoom. Okay, yes, the honorable ambassadors, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Denis Shaibi, Dubes Uni Europa. First of all, thank you so much for organizing this. Second, let me use this opportunity to congratulate President Prabowo on his leadership, because with the EU we negotiated 10 years for the CEPA, and really there was a very strong drive that allowed for the completion of negotiations. So thank you very much. Now, CEPA will certainly be a very positive signal for EU investors, but we need more. And if we look at the last time that there was a kind of surge of EU investment, is when Indonesia promoted the Omnibus Law. And this brings me to structural reform. I've paid very careful attention to Vice Minister Ogrusono's speech. This is not about deregulation, but about direction. But will there be structural reforms put forward? That would be a very powerful incentive. And if there are structural reforms, which one would you publicize today as something that is in the offing and which will make a difference for European investors? Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador.
I'm not sure what your question is. Structural reform. Basically, we are trying to reform everything right now. The best that we can, using the current information that we have in our hand. Well, one of the problem in, let's say, for the textile industries is that we don't have access to cheap financing because our banking system has claimed that sector is a sunset sector. So banking sectors are very reluctant to provide lending to that sector. So what structural reform that I can do? I cannot force the private banking sector to give loan to the sector, right? So I'm using my certain arm. I have a Exim Bank. It's under my control. I will force them to provide cheaper liquidity or more affordable liquidity to the textile sector, so they can compete, so they can renew their machinery and compete better in the global market. And we are conducting downstreaming in many mining sectors, natural resources sector. One of them is, of course, battery, which is related to battery is related to one of our mine product, that is nickel. Once I read from economists, weekly economists, and they said that it's impossible for Prabowo to attain his dream of battery superpower in the world, because China is not using nickel anymore, something like that. So to make sure that our nickel is still prevail and our battery dream is still here, early next month, I will launch a special incentive for car industry, for EV cars that use nickel-based battery, something like that. That's one structural reform that we are conducting. But we are conducting many structural reform, including downstreaming in the CPO industry. We will provide in the future probably some taxes on raw CPO export and some incentive for downstream CPO product, something like that. Or invite companies from your area to invest in my country to produce downstream product based on CPO. That is one structural reform we are conducting right now. We are moving not to exporting raw materials, but more to downstream products to create better value added for my country. And there are a lot of structural reform that we are still conducting. One of them is the one that I mentioned to you. For industry also. So far, we don't have industrial policy. We are going to think about creating one. It's not scattered about. We will create a comprehensive industrial strategy moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Vice Minister, have some comment on that, please.
Yeah, I just want to add what Pak Menkeu was saying, and also add my own assessment. In my engagement with many different countries since 35 years ago, I became a diplomat. Many people complain, many investors complain about Indonesia, that it's complicated, red tape. But let me put it the other way around. How many countries in the world that has population of 280 million people, democracy, multi-ethnics, living in a country as size of Indonesia, with regional autonomy that is very strong? You sink that in a little bit in your thinking. Maybe there is none. India is a continent. Brazil is continent. Nigeria is continent. More or less the same population. Archipelagics, probably the Philippines, but not 280 million people. With robust regional authority, where sometimes central government has different matters with local government. And as a matter of fact, when we talk about, when I was a junior diplomat, I was often schooled by a colleague from democracy who said, if you guys in Indonesia become democracy, we will invest. So we became democracy, you invest to somewhere else, not democratic. Yes? It's a fact of life. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you what it is. So I think what we are trying to do today is using leverage that we have in terms of leadership, in terms of tools, so that we can be able to expedite the process, facilitate the process, to ease the process of foreign investment in Indonesia. So I think that is a key that Pak Menteri mentioned about leveraging, what the Ministry of Finance has in terms of leveraging. And also I would like to very much implore you to look at the condition of Indonesia. We are not a normal state. We are a civilization state. I mean, that's what we are. So it's not a normal state situation where population is small, easy to manage. We're much more than that. Maybe not more, we are just different. And I think in that context, this effort is a way to work with everybody to make things easier, better, and hopefully faster and in a clear direction where we are going.
Thank you. Thank you. With the two ambassadors' questions and the answer, I'd like to put into the pictures. So we do have a system, your honorable system, especially for business and investment. Minister mentioned about our BKPM OSS system, one-stop shop system. And the foreign minister have an economic diplomacy system. It's all interconnected. So the debottlenecking channel, debottlenecking of the debottlenecking channel is become an effective tool onto a phenomena we call entrainment. It's aligning the rhythm of all this system. That's why the team is working on under leadership of the president. It shows works and show results. And hopefully by next year you can see more effective investment implemented. The investments are those that is on productive side. When you put money on the asset, those are not counted in investment under our GDP calculation anywhere in the world, GFFC, right? So this is the system that is put into working by adding an entrainment element under the leadership of President and of course the team of task force. And all this system, foreign minister is part of that. I think it look more promising and effective soon. So we have a question, I think, from Zoom. So the ambassadors, Zoom, please unmute and dapat dari mana, Pak? Please, the Paris, Pak Ambassador from Paris. Yes. Pak Umar, yes. Pak Umar, please.
Terima kasih. Selamat siang, Pak Menteri, Pak Memen. Izin menyampaikan ini dalam bahasa Indonesia. Pengalaman kami di sini, Pak Menteri, pertama terima kasih atas acara ini. Yang kedua, platform ini tentu akan sangat membantu. Namun kalau dari pengalaman sebelumnya, masukan dari Pak investor maupun calon investor, forum semacam ini bisa membantu, namun ad hoc. Sementara beberapa investor ingin lebih pada predictability, sehingga rencana investasinya bisa diperkirakan berjalan sesuai program perusahaan mereka. Sebagai catatan, selama tahun-tahun bertugas, kami mencatat 11 perusahaan franchise yang masih selalu dalam posisi in waiting. Karena prosesnya ada yang 3, 2, 1 tahun masih pending terkait beberapa kendala peraturan yang akan muncul di ujung proses, masih memerlukan permen, masih memerlukan pres, itu yang dianggap kekurangan predictability.
Thank you, Pak. We understand. Our guest here is speaking English, Pak. So maybe I'll rephrase your your comment. Your comment is basically on beside on the investment task force. We need the predictability, and there are cases that is in the channel right now. Maybe Minister, you want to comment on predictability element?
Thank you very much for the comment and question, and Bori and Dot probably. That's why we've created this special task force. Pak Dubes, should you still find some businessmen in France that or their business process has been slowed down significantly so far in in Indonesia, let me know. We'll tackle it. That's why we have created this task force. This task force is created to solve the problem like that. Yeah. This is interministry task force, so I can jump from one minister to another minister to solve every problem that your investors are facing. Just give me the list. I'll invite them to the proceeding and make sure their problems will be solved as soon as possible.
Thank you, ministers. Thank you, Pak Ambassador Omar. Thank you for your comment question. Please give us the list and through the or contact the website. We are here to help you, support you. Thank you. Any other more? If not, we have another panel. If not, Pak, with that, I like to thank Pak Minister and Vice Minister. Thank you so much for your half an hour Q&A. Thank you, Pak.
Your Excellencies Bapak Purbaya and Bapak Hafaz, thank you for joining with us this afternoon. It has been a privilege to have you with us, and we truly appreciate your valuable remarks and insight. Your Excellencies Bapak Purbaya will now proceed to the next agenda, a brief engagement session with the media.
Meanwhile, our distinguished guests and also all the participants in the hall are kindly invited to remain seated, as we will shortly continue with our next agenda, which is the panel discussion with our panelists and also led by Bapak Michael Gautama.
Thank you. I'd like to call Deputy Ministers, Bapak Bakti Satya, Rakasit, and Director Generals, Muhammad Takdir from Foreign Ministry. Bapak Bakti is from State Secretary, Cabinet, right, Pak? Yes, Pak. Silakan. Let the music play. Thank you again. We still have 40 minutes to go. Pak Bakti is the key person in the task force. So he and Pak Takdir from Foreign Minister's side will explain more in depth how the technical aspect of it. Pak Bakti, I understand you have some presentation, Pak. And this is your please, the time is yours, Pak. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Michael. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Ambassador, Head of Chambers and Business Associations, very good afternoon. It is a privilege to stand before you today to share Indonesian proactive measures in transforming our investment landscape. Today, I will present our strategic initiatives, the debottlenecking of national strategic programs. I will elaborate more what just Pak Purbaya, the Ministry of Finance, mentions. So you get the views, you get the ideas concerning about this task force. Explicitly, this initiative reflects the government of Indonesia commitments to debottleneck investment issues through improving transparency, efficiency, and collaborations with domestic and international partners. In a glance, maybe on the slide, As Pak Menko Airlangga has mentioned, also Pak Purbaya as well, the President has established this task force through the Presidential Decree number 4 of 2026. This task force has 4 main responsibilities. Firstly, to coordinate the accelerations of the government's program. Secondly, establishing integrated and collaborative strategic measures. Thirdly, this task force also responsible to conduct monitoring and evaluations of budget realizations. And fourthly, to resolve strategic bottlenecks that hinder implementations. This responsibility, of course, reflects our commitment and action to ensure that our policies are not only well designed, but also effectively executed. From the next slide, ladies and gentlemen, you could see the strong institutional that compose a broad of memberships that chaired by the Ministry Coordinating of Economic Affairs. And as you already mentioned as well, the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Investment, Minister of National Development Planning serving as the vice chairs. This demonstrates the seriousness of our government in addressing challenges and building investor confidence. There are 4 working groups. I'm sorry, let me make it correct. There are 5 working groups in this task force. Each working group has its own specific focus and area of specializations, such as economic growth strategies, law enforcement, trade and budget monitoring. Especially the Bottlenecking working group, which led by me, is mandated to identify and resolve issues such as critical regulatory, licensing, and operational barriers that hinder business activities and investment realizations. Based on these findings, ladies and gentlemen, the working groups formulates policy recommendations to accelerate investment, improve ease of doing business, and strengthen overall investment competitiveness. How these working groups works, or how's our business process doing this? In December 2025, Pak Menko Airlangga has launched the Debottlenecking channel, which can be accessed online. So we encourage the businesses, as Pak Purbaya just mentioned, to complain or give any information concerning about the bottleneck to this channel. This platform enables business actors to directly report obstacles, both in operating existing businesses and in initiating new businesses or investments. Businesses could also report all process through an integrated mechanism. We verify, we will analyze, and we will coordinate it across ministries. But of course, only registered business actors with a business identification number may submit reports supported by complete, clear, and accurate documents. This is to ensure that the process remains focused and effective. From the workflow of the Debottlenecking channel, you could see that it operates through a structured and transparent workflow to ensure business concerns are addressed efficiently and accountably. The working group will analyze the issue in details and coordinates with the responsible ministries, agencies, or stakeholders when necessary to identify practical solutions. For issues requiring strategic or cross-sectoral policy decisions, the issue will be escalated to a complaint resolve court chaired by Ministry of Finance. Furthermore, if the problems are massive and systemic, the issue will be discussed further in ministerial meeting, which led by the coordinating minister for economic affairs as the chairman of the task force, which this could lead as well to a policy reform. We don't stop on concerning about the complaints, but we try to reform as well our policies, also regulations, if it's needed. This mechanism, of course, enables the government not only to resolve immediate bottlenecks, what just I mentioned, but also to reform and strengthen future policies to improve the overall investment climate. As already mentioned as well by Pak Purbaya, but I get the informations by May on 7th, 2026. The debottlenecking channel had received around 134 complaints. Of these, 64 had already been resolved, while the rest are under monitoring. The majority issues reported are related to business licensing, which accounts for 50%, followed by land and spatial planning around 40%, 14%. This figure highlights the relevance of the task force work and its effectiveness in addressing the most key challenges faced by the business actors in operating their business or executing their investment plan. We get the strong support for this initiative by the President Prabowo. The President on the Business Forum in Tokyo on the next slides, on the March 30, 26, noted that this mechanism has already proven effective, resolving many issues and strengthening investors' confidence in Indonesia. President's strong support gave us stronger motivation and responsibility to enhance our efforts in dealing and resolving business complaints efficiently and effectively by keeping transparency, accountability, and integrity as the foundations. Strategy on these working groups for economic growth are built on 4 pillars. First, we do the complaints, faster resolutions, accelerating handling the business complaints, coordinations alignment, transparency and accountability, as Pak Purbaya also mentioned previous, and strengthening business confidence. Together with these pillars, create a strong foundations for sustainable growth. And probably I can share the achievements that the working group has made. Beyond resolving individual business complaints, the bottlenecking channel has also driven broader policies and regulatory reforms. Several concrete policies and regulatory reforms have emerged from the resolution process that led by Ministry of Finance. First, the government improved the mechanism for technical approval and import approval licensings to reduce delays and provide greater certainties for businesses. The task force encouraged the standardizations of consultant service fees in certificates of function worthiness, so-called the SLF licensing, helping to create a more transparent and predictable cost structure for having building permit. Working groups also procedures and requirements for PBG and SLF licensing were simplified. We also improved were made to SNE certifications procedures to strengthen efficiency and provide greater certainty in the certifications process. These achievements, ladies and gentlemen, not only resolve operational and individual business actor bottlenecks, but also contributes to structural reforms that improve Indonesia overall investment climate. From the questions from the EU concerning about the omnibus, yes, we already make the omnibus. We understand that I think we already have enough with the regulations today for nowadays. The problems is concerning about the implementations. The implementations regulations under the law itself. This is what just mentioned by the Minister of Finance. This is our responsibility to make, firstly, the regulations implement well. The businessman could run the investment as the regulations it is. So this is the opportunity. This is the time for you, businessmen here. If there's a complaints, if you have problems that hinders your investment in Indonesia, we're expecting that we could help and assist to resolve it. From the next slide, this is just a case. This illustrates how the debottlenecking channel translates business complaints into concrete policy improvements. In January 2026, more than 50 medium, small, medium enterprise pharmacy business reported difficulties in renewing pharmacy licenses due to inconsistent SLF, renewal fees, and licensing requirements. The issues was then discussed in a debottlenecking meeting chaired by the Ministry of Finance and produced several important follow-up actions, including improvements to the OSS system for pharmacy license renewals and the issuance of technical guidelines for building permit and SLF licensing to provide greater cost certainty for the medium, small enterprises. This case demonstrates how operational complaints can evolve into broader structural reforms that improve ease of doing business. The second case concerning about the SNE certifications, the standard, national standard certifications. This case highlights the government's effort to improve certainty and efficiency in the SNI certifications process. The issue was subsequently discussed in a debottlenecking meeting chaired by the Minister of Finance as well. The meeting result encouraged the implementations of the service level agreements or SLA in the SNI certifications process to provide greater certainty regarding processing timelines for businesses. Even at the high-level ministerial coordination meeting in April 2026, broader policy improvements were accelerated, including simplifications and greater transparency in the SNI certifications process. Finally, the primary objective behind the establishment of the debottlenecking channel is to drive sustainability, economic growth by identifying and removing the structural barriers. Closely linked to this mission is our commitment to securing a significant increase in investment as one of key drivers to have sustainable economic growth. We also dedicated to the improvement of the business climate as well. Ultimately, the synergy of these efforts leads to our most vital outcome to have solid and sustainable economic growth, which is job creation. we believe, the government believes that through strong collaborations and targeted resolutions of bottlenecks, we can successfully realize our visions for national economic development. Back to you, Pak Michael. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Pak Bati, for such in-depth technical details. In short, like I said earlier, the task force is about debottlenecking of debottlenecking. We are not just talking about it. I think the details have been given by Deputy Minister here. The elephant is in the room. We are dealing with the elephant directly through the system and entrainment. Before we go to next topics on how the foreign ministry can play the role in the ecosystem, is there any questions to Deputy Minister Bakti? If not, I'll pass the mic to Director General Muhammad Takdir. He is the head of the strategic body at the Foreign Ministry. Takdir, please.
Terima kasih, Prof. I probably, Excellencies, Ambassador both at home and overseas, chambers and officials from Kementerian Lembaga, I probably talk a lot about how the Foreign Ministry and Indonesian diplomat overseas navigate probably the interest and the concern of the investor. So they probably like your consultant. Yeah, the investor doesn't need to have intermediary or brokers, because when you start to have investment in Indonesia, I think you can so when foreign investors would like to have investment in Indonesia, they can express the interest through the embassy channel. Then the embassy channel probably will guard and will take care of their interest and connecting with the market or industry in Indonesia. So when the idea is coming out from the president about the bottlenecking team, I guess last year, December or November, we are in the ministry start to develop a dashboard called the Economic and Diplomacy Information System and Investor Link Development. When we would like to see how these two dashboards not just provide data for the ministry or the Prime Minister, but also to navigate any problem that coming from the data itself. So we see that the embassy or the foreign mission, Indonesia foreign mission overseas, can play a very critical role in this aspect, because the CDA itself, Economic Diplomacy Information System, use the input from the embassy in real time, including what we asked a couple weeks ago about in case they have a problem or the investor have a problem with the administrative hurdle in Indonesia. And if you see the policy itself in the annual statement, press statement by the minister, he mandated the missions to attract more investment to Indonesia. Why? Because I think the embassy has the size of personnels and labors that can materialize such kind of vision. We have 132 missions overseas. If you see the combined personnels, a variety of personnels coming from different ministries. We have the trade attaché, we have the financial attaché, industrial attaché, economic division. So these are the people, the frontliner of the economic diplomacy of Indonesian overseas. So you really can utilize these manpower to generate your interest and find out if there is a possibility of investing more in Indonesia. we see the economic growth, I think it's very promising because the target itself is quite high, and we consistently maintain the level of the economic growth from year to year. Minister Purbaya jokingly, when he resumed his office initially, he said that probably Indonesian society, Indonesian people, even without the intervention of the government, can maintain 5-point growth. When we set 8% growth, I think 3% of it coming from if we manage to double neck the problem, because all the money were there. So when you see the economic growth, the level of economic growth from 2025 and 2026, I think this is among the highest among economic countries in Asia or even in the globe. But one thing they should admit, that the level of foreign direct investment little bit lesser than the domestic, they generate by the domestic direct investment. This is a space I think that we can maximize in the next 4 years, because if we continue to boost the foreign direct investment to 50% as level with the domestic direct investment, then we will see the very good number of achieving a target of 13 trillion rupiah, 13,000 trillion rupiah, or 74.7 billion US dollar. There is a little bit, the number here is from 2025 to 2026 is ideally must be achieved at 40%. But here we only, I think, managed to get like 30.5%. It is lower than we expected. But I think it sends a signal that a lot of things that we should do in order to be able to reach the ideal number of 40% in order to close the gap leading to 29 target. And the speakers, the minister and vice minister just talk about the need to upgrade the level, because if you see the ICOR between countries in ASEAN, Indonesia among the lowest or the highest ICOR level, combined with even with Vietnam. So we need to upgrade that levels to the lowest possible point of 0.4% if we can have or settle the problem of regulations or the infrastructures or human resources, because this is the element of showing the country's level of investment efficiency. If you have a strong infrastructures, you have strong regulations, solid regulations, with a very able and capable human resources, then I think you may have the very low ICOR maybe in the next few years. It has been explained a lot by Baktin. I think I should go just going to the next slide, where the debottlenecking actually is like a ghostbuster. It provides a clarity for the investor. This is important because it is avoiding the dual interpretation and implementation, usually in the legal text. So there is a clarity among the investors when they start initial investment in Indonesia. You need to have a very good opening. The facilitation and assurances also can be manifested in the bottlenecking team, because it gives you a quick services that probably and hope might be settling your concern or your problem or your administrative hurdle that you are facing. And most importantly, the assurances, because this is also to give a sense of certainty in the whole process from the start to the end, this process. Other thing to watch, I think, this is not really directed to the debottlenecking, but if we manage to do a very good process in the debottlenecking team, I think the number of cases you probably come from in ISDS start to diminish. I think Indonesia among the highest number of cases in ASEAN concerning with investor-state dispute settlement. I think there are, for the record, maybe 5 cases compared to other ASEAN that they have like 1 or 2 cases. And this is also to make sure the vulnerability of the relation between state and foreign investors. If we lay the foundation of attracting investment to very open, transparent, and solid process, then I guess the investor will have the confidence. If they have the confidence, later on they will follow up with the next step, then up to the satisfaction of the investment itself, they will not have a problem at all. As usually we find in the cases of ISDS, 5 cases is a bit high in the past, but I think this also would be diminished because of the bottleneck process. The serious implications, it will reduce the possibility of any cases brought to the litigations, to the arbitrations, either through the venue of uncitral or venue of exit and other arbitration venue. When we start to send the cable to the embassy, in the Indonesian embassy in overseas, we try to collect or to identify the categories or most of the concern that they have, that the investor have, through the information provided by the embassy. And these are mostly a problem facing by investor in accordance with the information provided by for the missions. There are business license issue, taxation customs, land spatial planning, financing investments, industrial sectors, and governance law enforcement. I think this should be channeled by the bottlenecking through hearing. We have coordinated with the few embassies that provide these informations. I think just a moment ago, Indonesian ambassador in Paris, she expressed the cases that confirmed by the foreign investor in France, but I think on my record, we didn't receive any, cable yet from Paris indicating this kind of problem. But so I encourage all our missions, all our foreign missions and overseas to give us the cases that need to be a channel to the bottlenecking, or even they can direct it to go themselves through the website provided by the coordinating ministry. So I think this is a sign that communicating is important, provide information, update information, the progress of information, and etc. would be crucial and critical in allowing or enabling the bottlenecking team works in achieving their outcome. There are many lessons, I think, from our partners overseas, Bahrain, Singapore, and I think Vietnam. This is the selected, I think, model that we try to study to give a boosting, moral boostings to the bottlenecking in terms of the capacity and capability in settling the administrative hurdle faced by the foreign investor. The key takeaway, I think, is we need to strengthen interagency synergy on investment issue. Foreign ministers was granted, I think, 3 authoritative authoritative role by having synchronizing, coordinating, and controlling through the presidential decree number 150. This is the kind of authority that rendered by the government to allow foreign ministries coordinate, synchronize, and control the problem probably faced by our partners in overseas and domestically. Also enhancing coordinating among Indonesian mission and stakeholders. I just talked earlier about this, and optimizing the role of the 132 Indonesian missions, and most importantly also reinforcing a transparent and investment-friendly business climate. This is the overall outcome, the overall objective of this debottlenecking. So if they succeed, I think probably we will see the increased level of the economic growth despite the difficulties in geopolitics and geoeconomy. I hope that will be utilized by our partners overseas, by a foreign mission here in Jakarta, to work together, helping easing their investors doing business in Indonesia. I think I should stop there, Prof. Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director General Kadir. Thank you. If there is no questions, I want to summarize such a two in-depth technical presentation of we have two distinguished presenters here. So in short, we understand that there is an elephant in the room. There's issues facing by businesses in investment, and that's why the task force is formed. We have shown result, and a lot of times has been mentioned by Pak Tadir about ICOR, investment capital output ratio, show how efficient our macroeconomic is. Today we are 6.4. We'd like to bring down to 5, and at the same time you bring up our industrialization automatically. And one key aspect in the ICOR is logistics. We are dealing with that as well. So the message to all of you from your companies, from your countries, you have issues, please reach out to us. The website has been provided. All the ecosystem has been explained, and test us whether we perform this time. So with that, I'd like to thank the two speakers. We have the last sessions on case demonstrations by our DG, right? Pak thank you so much, Pak, for your in-depth. I'd like to have a copy of your slide as well. And Pak Tadir, thank you so much. And let's clap for them. And I pass the mic to you for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you very
Gentlemen,
much, all the
please.
honorable panelists and moderator.
Please remain on stage, gentlemen. Please, Bapak Satya dan Bapak Takdir, please remain on the stage for the commemoration. Bapak Michael.
As we come to the conclusion of the panel discussion session, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to our panelists for their valuable insight and contributions.
And as a token of appreciation, we would now like to invite our moderator, Bapak Michael, to present the commemorative tokens to each our panelists. Please bring the token to the stage. The first token will be presented by Bapak Michael Gautama to Bapak
Satya Bakti Parikesit.
Tim dokumentasi, please document this session.
Thank you very much, Bapak Satya Bakti Parikesit, for our discussion today. And for the second one, Bapak Michael will present the token to our panelists, Bapak Muhammad Takdir.
And yeah, and gentlemen, please have photo sessions together. Okay, photographer ready?
Okay, we move to the second post. Okay, is the thumbs up? Okay. Once again, we would like to say thank you to our panelists for your time and contribution to today's session.
And once again, please give big round of applause for the panelists and our moderator.
Excellencies, speakers, moderator, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned by Bapak Michael, that we will now move to the case demonstration session, which will showcase how the debottlenecking channel is intended to function as a practical mechanism for addressing business and investment-related obstacles. And as highlighted during the panel discussion by our panelists, that the debottlenecking initiative forms is a part of the mandate of Satgas P3M PPE, formerly known as Satgas P2SP. The renaming was formalized under Presidential Decree Number 4 of 2026, and it reflects the government's strengthened focus on accelerating program implementation and supporting economic growth.
Thank you, Ambar, very well explained. And on that note, the session will be presented by Director of Productivity, Strategy and Economic Growth, Directorate General of Economy and Fiscal Strategy, Ministry of Finance, Bapak Andriansyah, and Assistant of Minister for Tax Compliance, Ministry of Finance, Bapak Yon Arsal. To the speakers, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, distinguished excellencies, ambassadors, and representatives of foreign diplomatic missions, representatives of Indonesian mission abroad, esteemed member of chambers of commerce and business councils, and senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andriansyah, Director of Productivity and Economic Growth Strategy at the Ministry of Finance. Today I would like to walk you through a brief case demonstrations, how the bottlenecking channel operates, how issues are escalated and resolved, and how our monitoring system support faster decision-making process across ministries and institutions. Before we look at the cases, let me begin with the submission process. This is the link that asked by the ambassador from the Switzerland to ensure the transparency and traceability. All complaints and bottleneck report must be submitted to our platform. We have here Lapor. Maybe the slide, please. Yeah, the lapor.satgaspay2sp.go.id, and we have prepared a short tutorial video to guide user through the process. Let us watch the tutorial video. Please play the video, please.
Welcome to the official submission portal of Accelerating Government Program to Support Increasing Economic Growth Task Force, or also called as Satgas P3M PPE. This platform is the primary digital gateway for the Debottlenecking Task Force to identify and resolve regulatory or operational constraints affecting every business in Indonesia. First of all, go to lapor.satgasp2sp.go.id. To begin the submission on the portal, please enter your business identification number, or also called as NIB. This allows our system to securely retrieve your registered corporate data. For security purpose, click the box "I'm not a robot," recaptcha verification, and then click Submit to proceed. Step 1 is reporter verification. Ensure your company status is marked as verified. Next, provide the detail of the authorized representative. Enter the full legal name and active phone or WhatsApp number to simplify coordinations if needed. The next step, input your professional email address and click email verification. You must validate your email through the verification code sent to your email and enter this code immediately to the website. Finally, select your business sector. This ensures your report is directed to the relevant ministry or institution. After that, you can click Next. In this section, please describe the specific issues of your business. Provide a summary and select the appropriate category from the drop-down menu. In the problem description field, please provide clear detail regarding the obstacle affecting your business. Specify the location, time, and the impact of the issues on your business. This is important to provide us the data for analyzing. To support the report, you are also required to upload any PDF document as the evidence to help us identify the problem your business facing. If you have another issue, you may add one more by clicking Add another issue and click Furthermore to continue. The final step is confirmation. Carefully review the summary of your data, including company information and issues detail. The accuracy of your data is very important to help us provide effective solution. Read the legal declaration thoroughly. By checking the agreement box, you certify that all information provided is true and complete. Complete the final security verification and click Submit form. At this stage, your report has been successfully submitted. Our team will review your case and coordinate with the relevant institution. Thank you for contributing to a better business climate in Indonesia. Your reports are very needed for us.
Thank you. We can move to the next slide, please. As explained by Pak Bakti before that, we have established a standard operating procedure to ensure that every complaint or issue submitted to the bottlenecking channel is handled and structured in a transparent and timely manner. So I don't want to repeat it again, but I want to stress that we also have what we call as a service level agreement. For example, for step 2 in verifications step, this step must be completed in 7 days. And then for analysis, the third step in the analysis, we have a commitment that the maximum in 20 days from the completion of the step 2, this analysis must be finished. And then we have to decide then after, and the next slide, please. And to support the workflow, we also have, we created what we call as the dashboard. And in this dashboard, we provide the real-time overview of the complaint handling and project acceleration process. And in this dashboard, we also have what we call as KPI, key performance indicators, that, for example, average resolution time and inter-agency follow-up durations. And also highlight the contribution of each ministry or institutions in resolving bottlenecks in strategic projects. Next. You can see that here that since its establishment, the bottlenecking channel already what we call as the court or the hearings. So in the situation where the resolution workflow requires escalation to the minister level, we convene a formal hearing, and what we often refer as a court, and led directly by the finance minister and attended by the relevant ministries and institutions. And during this session, the complainant is given the opportunity to present the challenges they are facing, and after which we openly discuss and determine the most effective solutions. And to ensure transparency, these hearings are streamed live to the Ministry of Finance YouTube channel and also covered by media present at the sessions. So here we have 9 hearings, and for those who wish to see or to watch the discussions, the live streaming recording are available. Please simply click the photos on the slide. You can watch all the hearings, all the court. And let us next slide, please. And let us now turn to the case demonstrations. I would like to illustrate the cases that we brought to the minister hearing held last week. The first case is about the Saguling 90 megawatt floating solar power plants. So the issue or the complaint was the project faced delays because the governor recommendation could not be issued due to the moratorium. And interestingly, during the hearing, the HUA CAO, Tim Understein, he said that we are here based on the directions of Indonesia ambassador to Arab Saudi, Mr. Abdul Aziz, who recommended that this matter to be presented to the Bottlenecking channel. So this underscored the importance of today's seminars. So we also would like to invite you to recommend to the investors if they have facing problems or issue, please don't hesitate to contact us and report the cases to us. And as the result of the hearing, the West Java provincial government has expressed readiness to issue the recommendation by the 10th of the May, provided that the PLN fulfill its land compensation obligations. This slide also illustrates how long it took us to process the issue. You can see from the boxes above, from the complaint submission on the 8th April and to the ministerial hearing on the 7th of May. So this is to illustrate how we process the complaints. Next slide, please. And the second case is the Makassar Waste to Energy project. This project has been constrained by the regulatory transitions from Presidential Regulations 35 to 109. So the bottlenecks were related to tipping fees, land disputes. For this case, we began processing the issue in mid-February. And the result of the hearing, the Makassar city government has agreed to proceed with the project through adjustment to the scheme while retaining the existing developer. So here, in this case, we also, to make sure the certainty of the winner of the project, in this case, we retain the existing developer, and we also proceed with the adjustment of the scheme. And the PTSUS, the project SFP, also they said they will, the decision is they will continue coordination with DPLN and with the Makassar city government to advance the power purchase agreement process and the maintain project readiness. In this Debottlenecking channel, we also demonstrate that we not only coordinate with the other ministers, the line ministers and agencies, but we also coordinate with the local governments. So if you have projects in a province in Indonesia and you have facing issue with the local governments or the local regulation, please come to us and we can help to solve the problems. So ladies and gentlemen, these two cases illustrates how the debottlenecking channel function as practical and solution-oriented mechanism to accelerate strategic project and resolve cross-country bottlenecks. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Pak Andri. Just continue the third case of the bottlenecking cases task force that have been completed so far. As mentioned by Pak Andri in this presentation, on the complaints currently they were reviewing and discussing during the third forum of task force regarding the issues raised by Indonesian National Ship Owners Association or INSA regarding the tax compliance of foreign vessels companies in Indonesia. This is one of the also very significant cases regarding the tax compliance and its relationship with the how we deal with the regulation part. Next slide, please. Next slide. It's a very simple way. As a background of this case, this debottlenecking cases actually originated from the complaint by INSA, which stated that the majority of the foreign vessels sailing in Indonesia do not pay Article 15 income tax in Indonesia. So that, as a recommendation, INSA stated that giving us a suggestion, an input to address this gap. The first one, the DDT should increase the supervision over international shipping companies. The second, INSA proposed that foreign vessel applying for a port clearance before sailing out of Indonesia, that must be required to attach the tax compliance proof in order to secure that any companies or any taxpayer related should pay the tax before they are sailing. So this is quite a new one. So what is the existing regulation now? In terms of the regulation in the Ministry of Transportation and Regulation, this recommendation require us to amend the current Ministry of Transportation regulation rules. And in terms of the existing tax regulation, it also needs to some changes because we understand currently that in current regulation, it is stated that on the gross turnover from the transportation of people and or goods or from charters that will be obtained by the international shipping companies that have a permanent establishment in Indonesia and from Indonesian ports to foreign ports and or between ports with Indonesia are subject to Article 15 of income tax rate that must pay 2.64% of the tax, which is a final special regime in nature. Next slide. This slide provides a comprehensive overview of the cases raised by the INSA that submitted to the Bottlenecking Task Force. The main concern is actually that among more than 10,000 ships involved in export-import in Indonesia in activities, 9,500 around ships are foreign vessels actually. And because the foreign vessel naturally doesn't pay any tax because of the current regulation, this leads to a disadvantage of the domestic vessels, as a consumer now prefer to use the foreign vessels that offer the lower prices because there's minus tax. And it is a complaint that the issue that raised by the INSA. To solve this case, I think that the bottlenecking cases, that the bottlenecking task force is hold a very important role, because during this case, you see that there are at least 3 or 4 parties that involved in this case. INSA, Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of Finance, as well as the Director General of Taxes as well. So I think during if this process going through the normal process, it might take several months to discuss between within the government itself. So by clicking out, you see that in the top of the presentation, only in just 2 months period, we can solve these cases in which every parties should discuss on the same table, and then we can solve the issue itself. Of course, currently we are still discussing the technical issue on that, but the most important lesson learned from this, the third case is that we believe that the bottlenecking task force has been able to accelerate the process. So we can see that it takes shorter lead time to compare to the previous process that have been compared to the normal process. An agreed solution for this issue has been reached only in 2 months after its first submission. I think the key success factors is because it's be achieved by bringing all the stakeholders into the same table. I think all the cases have been applied the same method. So thank you very much for your attention on the third cases. Hopefully we can inform you, like Pak Andri mentioned before, all the recording has already been distributed, and you can watch anytime you want for that one. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much to our speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We shall now proceed to the interactive discussion session, where participants will have the opportunity to ask questions directly to our speakers.
So to all participants inside the hall or maybe joining us via Zoom, if you have a question regarding the Debottlenecking Channel initiative, you might ask our speakers here. Please raise your hand and you may ask your question to our speakers here. Any questions? Okay.
Yeah, it's on.
Pak Riansyah, senang bisa bertemu kembali. I have following question. When I looked at your website, I noticed that in order to proceed, you need to fill in NIB, nomor induk berusaha. If I'm a foreign investor who is interested to invest in Indonesia, but I don't have a business number yet because I'm still exploring opportunities, can I then still make use of the services of the Debottlenecking Task Force, or is that not possible?
Okay, thank you, Pak. Yes, one of the requirement for submissions in this channel is we need to have NIB, the business identification numbers. But because the purpose of this channel is to debottleneck the investments, it means that investments is already undergoing in the Indonesia. So if you're facing the during the investment, you should have the NIB, right? But I can also give you the alternative that Pak Ian mentioned before the case. The issue is not by the investors or not by the company, but by the associations. So in this case, there are two alternatives. The first one, we can use the counterpart of the foreign investors. They have the NIB. They can represent, represent the compliance about that one. It also mentioned about the last cases where we have the joint ventures. So the Indonesian company that submit the cases of the complaint. The second one, you can also use the associations, as the INSA case. And then if not, maybe we can also facilitate that the issue, and also you can contact us directly if you have problem in submit your complaint. Just contact us directly. We can help you with submit the case. At the point, I want to stress you that we will process all the complaints because your investment is important for us. We will help you with the submission process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Andriansyah.
Bapak Yon, if there is something to be added, Bapak Yon Arsal, is it enough or? Okay. Is there any question? Please raise your hand.
Or maybe to all participants joining us via Zoom, is there a question regarding to the case demonstration about debottlenecking channel?
Any question from Zoom?
Okay, if there is no more question, I think we might end our case demonstration session. We would like to thank very much Bapak Andriansyah and also Bapak Yon Arsal. Please give a big round of applause to our speakers for presenting the case demonstration on the debottlenecking channel. Thank you very much, Bapak.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to an end of our seminar. We hope this forum has provided a constructive platform to strengthen dialogue and collaboration between the government of Indonesia and the international business community. And today's discussion reflects Indonesia's continued commitment to improving policy implementation, enhancing institutional coordination, and fostering more responsive and investment-friendly environment.
And we extend our sincere appreciation to all of our keynote speakers, our panelists, moderator, and also all of the participants for your valuable contribution and engagement throughout the session. Your presence today is deeply appreciated. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And we wish you a pleasant day ahead and look forward to welcoming you again at future engagement. I am Amber.
And I am Rianka. We'll see you another time.
Selamat sore,
good afternoon, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.